Or how are you? Say hi and give a thumbs up. Hoping things are better with you. I won't be able to catch you live tonight. All right, man. Take care. Hey, G23. How are you? Pistol Pete. Ranger 10 is in the house. Had a big score a couple of days ago. SIG X10 full size with the Romeo 2 enclosed emitter dot. TLR1 HLX light. 200 rounds of 180 grain of ammo. 2 boxes. 175 critical defense. $750. That is a good deal. Yeah, we'll get into what all happened. Hello, Dennis. How are you? I'm still waiting for my Shadow System CR920XP to get out of gun jail. That sucks. Hopefully it will soon. Got Lake Ozark guy. It's almost been a month. Yeah, hello all. Hello. Got Dirt Track, William Carter. Appreciate y'all being on. Hope that light's not too bright. I'm wearing my limited edition CZ hat. So supposedly there's limited of these, I guess, around. Had a CZ rep. This was back before I got hurt. Had a CZ rep. I was at Texas Gun Experience and he recognized me and said he watches my videos. So he went out to his truck and got this hat out. And he only had one left and gave it to me and said it was some kind of a special edition. So I thought that was kind of cool. So I think his name was Chad. So Chad, if you're watching or you're following, I appreciate you. I think it was Chad. Hopefully I'm right. Hello, Disastrous Effect. How are you? Light is fine. Okay, I just wanted y'all to be able to see me because I've got my top light off and I'm sitting in my recliner, of course. Hello, Robert. Thank you, sir. Yeah, we'll get into it in just a second. It's definitely been a bumpy road. I'll let y'all know what all happened. I don't know if you watched Trigger Bar, but he kind of let a little bit out of the bag, which, you know, I mean, I appreciate him thinking of me. I've had a lot of people reaching out, asking how I am, because I did not do the chat last Wednesday, and I'll tell you why here in just a minute. So we'll just wait till some more people jump on, and we are going to talk about guns tonight. It's not just about me, but since y'all are family members and everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of people have been asking, I just thought that I would fill y'all in. I won't make it big, long, and drawn out, but I'll give you all the details and let you know what's going on. But we will go ahead and take this. Cheers, everyone. And yes, I can drink that. I did ask the doctors, and we'll get into it in just a minute. I specifically ask, I only drink like one drink a week, and it's usually on the chat. So, but yeah, it's been really crazy. We'll just go ahead and jump into it real quick because I do want to talk about SHOT Show and some guns. But last Wednesday, I had to go to the radiology department to have an ultrasound done on my leg, which the radiologist that does that is inside the hospital. So I went in, you know, because I had seen my doctor, my orthopedic on Monday. Hello, Kevin. How are you? I had went in and seen my orthopedic on last Monday. And, you know, I took all the bandages and the boot and the brace and all that off. And I said, man, my leg is still swollen. Something's not right. Look at my foot, look at my knee. And he said, yeah, you know, maybe you ought to get an ultrasound. I'll send you for an ultrasound. So I said, okay. So we had to schedule it. I saw my orthopedic on Monday, scheduled the ultrasound. That's kind of where they put that jelly on you, you know, like when you have a baby, but they, you know, rub it up and down your leg and check everything. Hello, Brian. How are you? But so they wanted to do an ultrasound on my leg. So I went in. My wife took me in, wheeled me in there. You know, put me up on a table and they started doing the ultrasound. And I said, well, you know, she was doing it. I said, am I going to know the findings today or does it take a while or do you call me or what do you do? And she said, no, we have a doctor in the back. After we do it, we'll take it back there and they'll read the results. Hello, Armsman. How are you? So I said, okay. So they did the ultrasound and all that stuff, you know. I don't know, it took about 35 minutes where I was laying on the table. And she said, you just wait on the table and I'll go back and have it read and I'll come back and tell you. And I said, okay. So I was laying there and they have that little, you know, curtain that they pull. You know, y'all have probably seen them in hospitals and in labs and stuff like that. So they pulled it, and she went into a door back there, and she was only back there like, I don't know, 10 minutes. She came out and she like whipped that blind open and said, I've got to grab a wheelchair. And I was like, what the hell? So she grabbed, got me off the table, got me into a wheelchair, and she said, I've got to take you to the ER immediately. And I said, well, what's going on? And she said, your leg is full of blood clots. Well, granted, my leg has been braced for 6 weeks. My foot has been in a boot for 6 weeks, and I have removed them and just let the leg, sit there when I'm in a chair and things like that. But I have not been able to walk on it or put any weight on it for 6 weeks. So it's basically been immobilized and not used. So the blood clots set in. So they took me to the emergency room in the same hospital, straight down to the emergency room, scaring the shit out of me and my wife, just being honest with you, because they're like, if these blood clots let loose, they go into your lungs, they go into your heart, you could die. I mean, they're just freaking me and my wife out. Get in the emergency room, they're, putting me on all kinds of shit. So I, was freaked out. They were trying to get me a room upstairs. They had a room for me, and then somebody else got it, so I was still waiting. So later that afternoon, I'd been in the ER all day. Later that afternoon, they got me into a room. The doctor came in and was telling me what was going on. It was a different doctor. He runs the floors. And was telling me what was going on and all that. They got me on blood thinners. I mean, they started punching holes in me and IVs. I mean, if you saw, well, I'll just show you. My arm looks like a pincushion. That arm does. They had IVs all in it. This arm looks like hammered shit. I mean, they just were pulling blood out of me every 2 hours because they have to they have to match the blood thinner up to the platelets in your blood and your white blood cells and all this other stuff to see if it's working. Anyway, I went into the hospital on Wednesday morning. Wednesday afternoon late, a different doctor came, and he was a vascular surgeon. And he came in and he said, yeah, we've scanned it. What we need to do is do surgery tomorrow morning, and I'm going to go in the back of the knee up through the thigh and try to remove some of the blood clots from your knee below. I cannot go in there because the veins are so small. So what they do is they go into the back of your knee in a small incision, and it's like a small wire that goes in. They go past the blood clot, and then they open it up like a parachute or a basket. They grab the blood clot and they physically pull it out of your leg. They lay it on a template, a paper template of the way that your veins kind of route in your leg, and they match it up. So I was awake during the whole surgery. It's called twilight. So they just kind of give me whatever you call it. I don't know, just something to keep me awake. And I'm looking around, talking to the doctors. We're talking about football. We're talking about cars. We're talking about all kinds of shit while they're doing the surgery. It's not comfortable. The table is tiny. It's literally like an ironing board. Where my head was, it's the end of the ironing board, like the narrow part. So just my head was there, and I kept turning. I mean, it was just uncomfortable as shit. I'm not a small guy. There were about, I guess, a total of 10 people in there. There was a doctor, there was two doctors, and then a bunch of nurses, and then like I guess a doctor that is, in training or whatever. So he was in there, and there was another lady in there evaluating or watching. So anyway, the surgery took about an hour. They ended up getting 10 inches of clot from my knee to the top of the thigh. So that is somewhat clear now, but below the knee below is still, still has clots in it. Apparently they've been in there for quite a while. But during all of this process, and it's still happening, I've been coughing. And it's like, I feel fine, but it's just a cough. And it got worse and worse and worse. And I was coughing so hard, I thought I broke two of my ribs. The lower on the right, the two lower ribs. And I was just complaining about it. But anyway, I had the surgery. Still sitting up in the bed, couldn't, really put any weight on it at that time. Um, and he came in, said he got 10 inches worth of clot out, um, and all that stuff. So that still had me on the blood thinner, um, all of that. And anyway, make a long story short, I was like, what is this cough from? And they were like, oh, that can just happen, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you don't think you need to check my chest for like pneumonia or anything? Because this cough was really hurting. It was like every time I'd cough, I'm not joking, it felt like I had a broken rib or two broken ribs. So it was very, very painful. So they did schedule a CAT scan of my chest. Went in and they actually found the blood clots have gotten into my lungs. They're small, but they've gotten into my lungs. So they're sitting in the lower left and right of my lungs. Um, and what's going on is the coughing is not the rib, it's the muscle around the rib. Kind of like if you eat ribs, you eat the meat off the bones. That's kind of what's happening. They call it the inner liner or something like that. That's the problem. So anyway, and I'm sorry if I'm missing names. I'll try to catch back up here in a minute. Um, but anyway, so I do have blood clots in my lungs. So I was really wanting to go home because that just sucked. It was not fun I mean, I'm talking every day, blood every 2 hours. I'm not joking. If I was asleep, they'd wake me up and take my blood. They were doing vitals like every probably 3 hours. So blood pressure and all that other stuff. My blood pressure dropped pretty low. It was, what was it? It dropped to like 83 over 52 at one time. That was the day after the surgery, but it did come back up, and I haven't had any episodes since. Um, anyway, so that's what's going on. So I couldn't do it Wednesday. I couldn't do the chat because I was in the hospital and all of that stuff, and I don't want to do it from a hospital bed. So, and I did have it posted that I was going to do it that morning, but when I found out about the blood clots and all this emergency crap, I just deleted it. So, I hope y'all understand, but it's been a roller coaster. I was in the hospital from Wednesday morning all the way till Sunday afternoon. I finally got to come home. I'm on blood thinners and will be for 6 months. I'm on Eliquis. So I have to take 10 milligrams. That's two 5 milligram pills in the morning, um, and then two in the evening for 7 days. And then after that, I go to 5 to 5. 5 in the morning, 5 at night milligrams. So I will have to be on those for 6 months. This has delayed my ACL surgery since I'm on blood thinners. So they said that it's probably going to take another couple of months, but that just gives me more time to get my legs strong. In the meantime, it has been 6 weeks, so they did clear me to start putting weight on my bad leg. I've since moved to a smaller brace on my knee. It just has a hinge, it's not a dialed hinge. I still have the boot on my ankle because my ankle's still all jacked up, and I am using a walker. So I'm, putting weight on my right foot and then bringing the left foot up. Started out probably about 25 percent weight on the right foot, 50, and now I'm trying to do 100. So I'm walking around the house, periodically throughout the day, getting out of the recliner, and trying to, walk around the house about 4 times a day to try to get some, I guess, movement going in it, and getting up and down and things like that, just trying to get some progress going. So that's kind of what's been going on. Sorry if that was a little long-winded, but I've had a lot of people asking, and I really haven't given any answers. So I just figured I would do it tonight, and I'm just on the way to recovery. Um, I appreciate all the prayers everybody's given. I appreciate all the well wishes. Y'all mean a lot. And I did talk to the doctor, and I said, I'm going to be on all this medication and blood thinners. Do I have to do anything differently, like not drink, not eat certain foods, blah, blah, blah? And he's like, nope, you can drink, you can have beer. And I was like, well, I'm really not a beer drinker. And he goes, oh, if you want whiskey, you can have some whiskey. You just go about your normal life. It doesn't affect that in any way because this is the newer medication. It's not the old school medication. And so this is my first drink since. I'm just going to kind of drink it slow, just to see how I feel. Cheers, everyone. So far, feeling fine. Um, I mean, it's uh, it's weird. I mean, this has just been a big wake up call. Um, it could have been really bad because I did start coughing a little bit before I even went to the hospital on Wednesday to have that test done. So, you know, I mean, just be aware if something's not right. So, anyway, that's what's going on. So, sorry if I've missed some comments. Um, if they had you on clot dose, those blood thinners, the bruising is horrid. Um, yeah, and a lot of the people in the hospital were like, "Hey, if your leg was immobilized, did they have you on blood thinners from day one?" And I was like, "No," and they were like, "Why not?" So that kind of got to me a little bit. The bone-on-bone pressure is what caused the bone to mend. Yeah, I mean it's been 6 weeks, so they pretty much gave me the clearance to put weight on it on that Monday, and then all of a sudden this happened on Wednesday. So kind of threw it all up there. Thank you, Ranger. I appreciate you, buddy. Hello, Abigail. How are you? Let me try to catch back up. I'm sorry, I'm way behind. I know y'all were asking a lot of questions and stuff like that. Oh, you have a buddy that has stuff going on in his lungs right now. He's having heart issues too. Yeah, I'm not having any heart issues. I'm not having any breathing issues. Um, they said it could have been a lot worse, which, I understand, and I'm glad I didn't have that. Um, you know, so, but I'll just kind of let y'all start asking questions. Hello, Double A. I hope you will continue to feel better. So glad you caught it in time. Thoughts and prayers. Thank you. Hello, Gray Shooter. I'm hoping you have a speedy recovery. I appreciate that. Glad to see you home. That's a big step in the right the direction. Yeah, it is. Big J, you're a better man than I am. I would have gone crazy by now. I'm a big baby when I'm ill. I mean, it sucked. My wife was up there with me, for a couple of days, and then she went to work, and then, I just kind of hung out. It was just a bunch of watching TV and talking to the nurses and stuff like that. I mean, they were very, very nice. They treated me well, took really good care of me. The vascular doctor and the other doctor were coming in daily. Even my orthopedic doctor came in with his PA to see me, because they were concerned about all this. So, it, excuse me, it is what it is. I'm going to press through. It's just been a bumpy road, but, hopefully we'll hit some smooth pavement and keep on pressing on. That's my goal and my plan. It sucks, but it's life. So we're gonna get through this crap. Craig is saying, thanks for sharing it, Big J. Do what you got to do. We have a friend that has managed without an ACL for decades, old sports injury. Yeah, I had planned on getting mine fixed. I still do want to get it fixed. But I'll just continue to wear the brace, and I can't do any pivoting and stuff like that. But that's totally understandable. Um, and then we'll just see how it goes. I mean, if I can feel like I can live with it, then maybe I won't have it fixed. But my plan is to have it fixed. So hopefully I'll have all the strength built up in my knee, my ankle. I'll be walking really good. And then when they do the ACL, I'll be on my feet 3 days later, and it'll just be smooth sailing. That's my plan. So we'll see how that goes. Hello, Rich B. He says, I think Shot Show should be changed to Shit Show. What I've seen so far, yep, I agree. It's kind of crazy. Abigail says, got an ad for the Hollywood Blonde Jabroni's garbage beer. I haven't seen that. Craig says, oh yeah, get it fixed, but at least it's not top list. Yeah, right now they won't do it right now. The plan was, once the bones were healed, is to do it about 2 to 3 weeks afterwards if I could walk on my ankle by itself, which I can't yet. As soon as I could walk on my ankle, they were going to do it, and then all this blood clot crap happened. So that's where we are right now. So it has pushed some things back, but like I said, we're going to press through it because I wanted to. I've got a grandbaby that's going to be coming, first grandbaby that's going to be coming like the middle of March, and I wanted to have people not worry about me, so we could, worry about the grandbaby, and I would be fine, and be able to see the grandbaby and all that stuff. But we'll just see how it goes. Hello, Norwood. How are you? Um, have I ever seen the Jaws ride? Yeah, I mean, I remember when I was a kid, way back when I was a little kid, I went to, Disney and saw the Jaws ride. Went on it. Yeah, no, the Cowboys aren't going to need me. Uh, Jerry Jones has screwed that shit up. So, but anyway, let's get into some SHOT Show stuff. You know, what I've seen from SHOT Show, it hasn't been super impressive. I mean, the Staccato HD, is kind of cool. Am I going to run out and buy one? Of course, I'm not going to buy anything right now, but because I'm sure these medical bills are going to be pouring in too. What insurance doesn't cover, but then I'm sure it's not going to be cheap with a 5-day stay in the hospital. And I was on some kind of special ward, so I'm sure that's going to even tack on more money, but it is what it is. So, and I know Brian's been through way worse than this, or, a lot of stuff too. But anyway, but the Staccato, HD is kind of cool. Am I going to run out and buy one right now or order one? No. I do want to put my hands on it when I'm able to. Just to see what I think, or if a buddy gets one, I might try his and shoot it, see what I think about it. But, taking Glock mags and stuff like that, that seems pretty cool. I like the way they have it set up. I think it probably is going to be a pretty cool offering. And I know that they're going after a lot of LA contracts where it has to be drop safe. They probably want it to take Glock mags. They made that gun specifically to go after contracts that they couldn't get with their other gun. So that's completely understandable. This is an 80 series trigger, so I don't know if it's going to have exactly the crispest trigger or, just like the other ones, but, I'm sure it would be fine. It's got the front sight in front, or the rear sight is in front of the optic, which is, I've got some guns that are that way. I had them milled that way. I don't mind them. I think they're kind of cool. And I know that you can get plates to put different optics on it and things like that. He's got one with a Acro P2 on it already, but he did have to use a plate. So I think it's RMR and maybe RMSC for the footprint, where you don't need a plate. Anything after that, you need a plate. So hang on real quick. But anyway, that's sorry, I just had to blow somebody out. That was a little overkill with the stuff he's saying. He might be a young kid, so I just went ahead and put him in a timeout for 24 hours. PSA does have some cool stuff. They got the Saber 11, which is their new 2011. They're not going to make it for sure yet, but they did have it there that I saw pictures of and videos of. So that could be an opportunity depending on the price and if they make it. Hello, William Cotter. How are you? So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, that's what I was talking about, the Saber 11. So we'll just have to see how it comes out. I know Apollo and all of them came out with some new guns. Apollo did come out with a new 10 millimeter. So they call it the Apollo 10, I think. If anybody's interested in a 10 millimeter, I know a lot of people are. That was like a 5-inch 10 millimeters, so that could be an option. And they do have a metal grip now that you can purchase or buy at the time of the gun. So that could be an option for some. The Fusion, I don't know. I looked at it, but it doesn't really impress me. I'm not saying it's a bad gun. I really don't, from what I've seen of it, I don't really like the side controls that much. I think it would get in the way of my grip, and I don't want to have to alter a grip just for one gun. That's kind of the way I feel about it. So I don't know if it would work for me. The Platypus, there's still an option there, but gosh, they've got like an 18-week lead time or some shit like that. Could even be longer than that, but that's pretty excessive. So that's where the Staccato could take some of their business if they can get a hold of it quick. If, once they get it in all the gun stores, if you could just go buy it, I think the people would buy the Staccato. And plus, y'all know me and Staccato. I mean, they're made in Texas. You know, I support Texas companies, so, you know, not saying I will buy one, don't hold me to it, but that could be a possibility later on down the road. Hello, Mike, how are you? Any thoughts or experience with Bull Armory tack models? I personally have shot them. I've shot the ultralights and the Bull tack, I guess it was. It was like the 4¼ inch, I think. Neither were my guns. They were a friend of mine's. They're nice guns. I mean, they shoot great. No problems with them. The only thing I have an issue with is I have 4 2011s. They all take the same mag. If I buy a Bull Armory, then I have to have their proprietary mag for that gun. And on my 2011s, I have, man, I probably have 30 mags. I mean, I've got a bunch of mags. So then I would have to buy, you know, 5 or 6 more mags, Bull Armory mags. So that's, you know, that's the only problem I have with it. I think it's a great option, especially now because they've done away with the MIM parts on their newer ones. So they're not MIM anymore. You know, like the slide release and the slide release is not MIM anymore, and the slide safeties are not MIM anymore. So they've got tooled steel in them now, so that's even better. I'm not a MIM fan at all, and people ask why not. I've had problems with MIM in the past. It's been a long time, but and I know a lot of striker fire guns have MIM parts, so I do know that, and I've got those. But you know, even my FNs, I've changed a lot of that out to the real, you know, Apex parts. So, and both of my FNs, I have all Apex parts. So, you know, all the guts internally are Apex. So there's no more MIM parts. But, you know, Glock has some MIM, other guns have MIM, but I get it. That would be my opinion. I think they're a great offering. The price points are great. So I say if you're not heavily invested in 2011s, I think Bull Armories are great. I mean, I enjoyed shooting them. They shot fantastic. They ran flawless. And I put quite a few rounds through them, so I didn't just shoot like one mag through them. Buddy and I, he had the Bulls. I had a bunch of guns he wanted to shoot, so we went to the range one day and met up there, and I shot a bunch of his Bulls, or shot his 2 Bulls quite a bit. He shot my MPA, my staccato, or he shot both of my MPAs and my staccato, because he had never shot any of those before. So, you know, we kind of just, he shot a bunch of mine, I shot a bunch of his, and we were there for quite a while. William Carter says, I have a Bull EDC Pro, love it. It shoots extremely soft. We'll probably get the TAC Pro. They're coming out with mid-year. It's ported and comped, yep. Hello, Adrian. How are you, man? I'm hanging in there, man. I appreciate you. But yeah, I do like the, you know, the comp and the ports. That's kind of cool. I like that they came out with that, and I do like the stainless steel slide, the tuxedo look. That's what I've got on my Masterpiece arms, and I really, really do like the tuxedo look with the black grip and the stainless slide. I think that's a really cool look. I can appreciate that a lot. That's one of my favorite looks on a gun. But and then as far as primary arms, you know, they've got the new HTX optic. You know, I think that's a cool offering. It is expensive, but it's all American made. I don't know that much about it other than what y'all have probably seen on videos. I am an affiliate for them, but I'm not going to call and ask and all that stuff to get one because I can't shoot, and that wouldn't be fair to them. So, or fair to me, you know, so I just don't want to do that. And they might not even send it to me because it's, you know, I'm not a huge affiliate for them. I don't push them a lot. You know, but if, you know, I get one or buy one or whatever, you know, I'll, you know, see about it later on down the road. I'm glad, Adrian. Yeah. And I hope all of y'all are doing well. And again, with what's happened to me, if you've got a family member that's not well or whatever, please reach out to them. Just stay in touch with them because, you know, you just never know. I mean, with what they were telling me, I was pretty concerned. I was just like, holy crap, you know, this is not good. So, you know, my body held out, and that's all that matters. So, but it sucks that I'll have to be on blood thinners for freaking 6 months. And I do have to get my leg rescanned in a month, or I guess 3 weeks now or whatever, by the vascular doctor. So we'll just see how it's going. Also, I was like, how do blood clots go away? You know, because I was really curious about that. And they said, the blood thinners help them kind of dissolve and then your body absorbs them. I said, do you poop them out? Do you pee them out? How do they go away? How do they leave your body? And I was informed that they don't leave your body, they are absorbed into your spleen and they can absorb into the blood or into your skin. So I had no idea about that. So I'm learning all kinds of new fun things. Hello, Nathan. How are you? So just stopped by the stream. Have a good day, night. Don't let things get to you. Good luck with everything. Man, I appreciate it very much. Thank you. Yeah, y'all smash that thumbs up. We got 36 people on here, 21 thumbs up. I'd appreciate all the thumbs up. That's another thing. I mean, I'm not consumed with the money on YouTube and stuff like that. Don't take it the wrong way. But man, since I haven't been doing videos, my money is just, I mean, it's like nothing. But, that's not what it's about. I mean, it's about, relationships and things like that. And I appreciate y'all so much. But, I was just using that money for ammo and, stuff like that. I mean, I was putting it right back into the channel. It's not like I was making $1 million or anything like that, because I'm not. I'm a very small channel. But, buying ammo and stuff like that, does help. But, hopefully I'll be able to, maybe, I don't know how quickly, but hopefully I'll be able to, hobble around and maybe ditch the walker, and start putting, kind of trying to walk on it. And I could go to the range and do some shooting. If I can drive, take this boot off, and being able to drive, that'd be great to go and shoot. Because, man, I am jonesing to shoot. Oh, my gosh. I mean, I sit there and, my gun's just sitting right there. My home protection gun or whatever you want to call it. Because I'm not joking. I've been living in my recliner for 7 weeks now. Well, I spent 1 week in the hospital, but I've been living in my recliner, sleeping in it, working from it. I have a little laptop thing I put on my lap, a little flat board with some fur on the bottom. My laptop's right here, working from home, calling customers, making sure they're okay and all that stuff. And, then get up periodically and walk around the house with my walker. It just sucks sitting in here and looking at the walls, and, I've got guns in here and stuff like that, but I kind of can't do anything with them. So I'm just, and I've got 2 boxes of Cellar and Bellet ammo that I purchased before I got hurt. It's sitting here in the box. I haven't even been able to put it in my ammo boxes. It's literally sitting in the cardboard boxes I bought it in. It's not going to go bad. It's wrapped in plastic with I'm sure it has the dry crap in it, the desiccant gel, so I'm not really worried about that. But, man, I'm just freaking out to go shoot. Also, when they did my chest x-ray, they found my thyroid gland was enlarged. So they had to do a throat, ultrasound on my throat for like 45 minutes. And I got the results from that. It is enlarged, but it's not cancerous. That was a fantastic thing because my wife was really worried about that. But it did have a little bit of enlargement, so I just have to have it checked in about a year just to see if it's gotten any bigger, blah, blah, blah. So I guess it was good they found that. But, it's just been a complete crap show, so it's definitely been a bumpy road. But like I said, we're gonna hit some smooth pavement. And we're just going to start flowing through this and get over this, because I'm tired of it. I want to get back on my feet again and just kind of have some kind of normal life, because this sucks. It literally sucks. Hello, Lynn Holt. How are you? Yeah, we're hanging in there. Manus X comes in handy. Yeah, I've done dry fire. Not with the Manus X. I've got them. But I haven't been able to dig down there in the bucket and get it hooked up and all that shit. So I've done dry fire on my light switches, my door handle, my door, what do you call them, little hinges. I've done that, unloading it and everything. I just don't want to unload it and load it too many times because I'll seat the bullet. But, and I do rotate the ammo throughout the mag, so I'm not using the same bullet, but just don't want to seat it too deep. So I have done that. It's kind of boring, just being honest with you, because I'm sitting in a chair. And then when I'm using the walker, I have to have both hands on the walker. It's not like I can walk around with the walker and then draw and shoot or dry fire. So it's been very boring. And I've got my deer up here, so I've even done dry fire on it. But, you know, it's just boring. Lynn Holt says, I nearly checked out in 2008, was on Novalax and warfarin for a period of time. Now it's just 81 milligrams of aspirin. It's going to take time. You're going to get back on your feet. Oh, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I'm glad you're with us. So, hello, Dirtbag. How are you? But yeah, it's just been a very weird deal. So, you know, I wasn't expecting blood clots, but you know, it is what it is, and that's what the good Lord blessed me with, and you know, so He'll get me through it. So that's all I can say. But as far as you know, the thermals, I checked out a couple of videos on thermals. You know, the little thermal that you put on your pistol. I'm like, why would you want that on a pistol? I just don't see a reason in having it on a pistol. Now, here's where I would use it. If I had an LPVO, I would run it on a 45-degree offset along with my LPVO. So that's what I would use it for. I think it's cool, you know, that they have it, that it's an option. I don't know how good it is. I don't know how the refresh rate is. They said the refresh rate was good, but until you see it, you don't know. You know, it's supposed to be like 60 hertz and all this other stuff. And it's got different color palettes you can flip through. It's kind of a touch screen. So it is cool. It's something new. But I would not put it on a pistol. I just see no reason in that at all. How big is your mule? Man, come on, Dirtbag, clean that up, man. If not, I'm going to block your ass, because that's not what we're about here, okay? So, yeah, you can change that. If you want to change it, I'll keep you on here. But you start spouting stupid stuff off again, and I will launch your ass. So I'm just letting you know, Dirtbag Jim. Okay, you don't need to be curious. Okay, we can talk about guns, we can talk about other stuff, but we're going to keep it clean on here, okay? Lynn Holt says, on a brighter note, thoughts on the new staccato that takes Glock mags, mixed emotions here. Yeah, I mean, I see a reason in having it because of LE contracts like we talked about earlier. When I was bringing that up, they are going after that. Okay, thanks, Dirtbag. I appreciate you. You can stay on, but we're not going to have any bullshit here because I will launch you. But I see the reason they did it, and I think it's a really good offering because a lot of people are very, very scared to carry a true 1911/2011 with a 70 series trigger. And I understand that because they are not drop safe. I'm not concerned about it because I've got manual safeties. However, I do pin the grip safeties. I'm not a grip safety guy, and that's good that they got away from that on the new one, so I can appreciate that. But I think it's a cool option for a lot of people, and I think that will bring people maybe over to staccatos or a 2011 type. So I think they did the right thing. I don't think they made a mistake with that, and I think they're going to sell a crap load of it. Matter of fact, I already have 4 friends who have already put in orders. I mean, these are personal friends. They've already put in 4 orders with 4 friends, and they've ordered the HD. They ordered the 4-inch, not the 4.25 or whatever. They've ordered the 4-inch, and I guess they get them when they get them. I think that's also cool that they've got the Metgar mags, the Glock metal Metgar mags, because supposedly, I don't know this for a fact, but supposedly those Metgar mags are only $20. So that could be that's a really good deal to have a metal Glock mag. So I think that's a really cool option. And hell, if those mags work, I might even order some of those mags even for my Glocks if I don't order a staccato. So, you know, I do prefer the metal mags over the polymer cased mags because you can got to do that Glock flip sometimes. Any thoughts on Trump's first 2 weeks as POTUS? Shit, I think he's killing it. I think he is killing it, Brian. Going around scooping up these people that don't need to be here and that are, you know, doing bad crap, trafficking, you know, the SAs. Y'all know where I'm going with that. you know what the abbreviation is. Drug, fentanyl, they've already busted a bunch of them that had drugs. Gang members, cartel members, you know, pick their ass up. That should have already happened. I mean, it should not take him coming in to do this. Cleaning up our border, because Texas, I mean, we get a crap load of illegals, as y'all know, being in Texas. So I'm glad this shit's getting cleaned up. You know, I mean, I haven't seen any mistakes made yet. You know, even for California, I don't live there, but even for California, he's got water there now. I mean, they turned on the spigot. You know, he's going around and seeing people that shit JB never saw. So I think some stuff's moving in our direction. You know, we'll just have to see how it continues. But so far, so good. That's my opinion. Hello, Mook. How are you? Said he picked up my HD up yesterday. I haven't shot it yet because I don't have the mounting kit. The gun feels great in hand. That's awesome, man. Yeah, definitely follow up with me. I really want to know your opinion when you are able to shoot it, even with the irons. Scott says, what would be nice is a staccato that isn't $3,000. They're completely ignoring the entry-level segment where they can make a lot more money for the low to mid 2011s. Yeah, but there's already people in that market space, Scott. I'm not knocking it or anything, but, you know, they're all made in Texas. You know, they're not using any kind of inferior products, no MIM. You know, they're going to cost money. I've played with some of the cheap 2011s, and you can tell they're cheap 2011s. I'm not saying they're junk, but, you know, you're going to pay for fit, finish. I'm not saying staccato is the holy grail. Don't get me wrong. They're kind of like the Glock of the 2011, but, you know, good 1911s and good, or, you know, decent to good 2011s are not cheap. So they're not going for the budget market. That's not their place. And they're not trying to hit that place. There's too many people out there already there in that range. So Lake Ozark guy said, I'm pissed on how easy it would have been for Biden to stop it. Yeah, he just didn't. He chose not to. He was hoping for more votes so they would win. That's exactly what he was hoping for. He was letting them all in because he was going to count some of those votes. We know that. But I think he's doing well. Imminent of Oots, his mistake was the AI funding. Let me catch this. AI funding that funded mRNA cures. It's one blemish he has so far. Lynn Holt says, I like Nighthawks, unapologetic. Their new offerings are unique. I picked up the TRS comp, gently used, not full price. It was the most expensive I've owned. Yeah, I mean, they're great guns. Nighthawk makes a great offering. No, but I think they could have got down to the 1500 range for basically a 2011 now. Not for what you're getting. It would have been almost impossible to hit $1,500 for that gun. Let's see here. Local shot for about 1,300. She ran hard and put away wet though. Yeah, I mean, hell, I got that STI. Of course, it's not stock, but it's been modernized. But that 45 that's in the picture of the thumbnail, and man, it's a great gun. But I did have to tune the extractor. You know, that's the old STI, so it ran pretty good out of the box. But after I customized it, I did have to tune the extractor, and I did that myself. You know, pulled it out, bent it, put it back in. Now it's flawless. Or the last time I shot it, it was flawless. I haven't shot it in a long time. But fantastic gun. But yeah, Staccato's already in their lane. They're not going to lower prices and go after budget. They're just not going to do it. They don't need to do it. You know, I'm not saying they're the holy grail. Please don't take it that way, but that's just not in their lane. So I don't ever see them making a gun for $1,500. I just don't ever see it happening. Not for the material they're using. Matter of fact, a lot of their metal and stuff, it actually comes from Texas as well. They're not getting it from any overseas vendors. So the steel, the billet, all that other stuff, it's coming from Texas, supposedly. Yeah, but like I was just saying. But as far as, you know, anything else, man, I was kind of looking around, Smith & Wesson revolvers, hey, now they don't have the lock, I don't really care about that personally. If you're a revolver guy, you might. The Ruger RXP, I thought it would be more. I thought they would have more offerings showing at SHOT Show. Like, hey, we've got all these 19X frames. We've got these extra barrels. We've got a longer barrel. We've got this longer slide. We've got this bigger frame. I was kind of expecting to see that and didn't see that. So I was kind of like, man, you missed the mark. Or maybe like a PDW brace. I thought that might be kind of cool, but obviously not. So I didn't see anything from that, and I figured they would, Magpul could have a booth with that stuff in it, and then Ruger could have their booth with stuff in it, but didn't see any of that, so I was really surprised. I hope they don't miss the boat on that, but, that could be a cool option. But we've got 35 people on and 25 thumbs up, so 10 more people hit that thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. But, and if there's any other thing, oh, the Daewoo rifles. Yeah, I did see those. They used to be called something else, I thought. Or maybe they're called something now. I can't remember. I thought they had changed their name or were going to change their name. But, like I said, I've got this cough that kind of lingers. It's not bad now. Also, the ribs are not hurting now. So I'm very thankful about that. They're not hurting at this moment anyway. I haven't been hurting really for a couple of days. The walker's kind of weird to get used to. I've never really walked behind a walker. So, I definitely feel like I'm 80 years old, but I'm grateful that I have a walker. Yeah, the hospital, they were like, oh, yeah, we'll give you this walker and then your insurance, we'll get what they give us or whatever, and then we'll bill you for the rest of it. And I'm like, well, how much would that be? And they're like, oh, it could be $50 to $100. Well, hell, we looked them up on Amazon and they were like $35, $50. So I told my wife, I'm just like, hell, just order one on Amazon. And it's the same one that I had in the hospital. So, but anyway, I've got that. I don't know if it's the best in the world construction, but it's holding my Big S up for now, and I hadn't hit the dirt yet. So I guess we'll see how that goes. Yeah. Ranger said I was able to make the SHOT Show this year. Was invited by a company that trains LE. I wasn't much impressed by much there. Yeah, like I said, I just don't know anything. I don't know if there's anything like revolutionary or just like, oh my gosh, this is so out of the box. I've got to have it. Cheers, everyone. That actually tasted really good. Been a couple of weeks, or well, I guess a week and a half since I've had one drink. And like I said, I'm not an alcoholic. I usually only drink once a week. But that actually tasted pretty damn good after what I've been through. So, and they said I could have it. So, I specifically asked because I don't want to do anything wrong. But that's cool. You got to go. And maybe I might go to one, maybe next year or something like that. I don't know. It's just not huge on my bucket list. I've been to Vegas so many freaking times with SEMA. It's like, man, every time I go to Vegas, I'm just like, God, I've just been way too many times. Hello, Trigger Bar. How are you? Yeah, I appreciate you doing the shout out last night on your chat. So thank you very much. And if y'all haven't checked out Trigger Bar, please do. He's got a chat like every Tuesday night. So y'all go over and check that out. Lynn says overall shot this year seems to be incremental steps and jockeying for market share. I agree. I agree with that 1,000%. In Glock, I've been asked about this too. Glock has the AOC. The A-cut is what they're calling it, with the aim point, the new aim point, where you can only get it on the Glock for at least the first year. They've got a contract where it can't be sold separately. I think that's a cool option. The dot looks pretty good. I like my aim point P2, so I'm sure I would like that one, the AOC. But it is with Glock only. So is that a bad thing? Not really if you're into Glock. Will I run out and buy one? Probably not. But, I think it's cool for the people who like Glock and they can get that package. I've seen them going now for $9.99, which for the dot and the gun and the cut and everything, it's really not all that bad. So if you like Glock, I think that might be a good option to go with. Thanks, Trigger Bar. I appreciate you. Yeah, it's good to be back. Also, yeah, that's right. I was asking about that Kel-Tec 5.7. I've been asked about that like twice, and then I know Trigger Bar was talking about it on his chat. I think it's an absolute piece of shit. Okay, here's my reasoning. You're taking you're taking the gun, pulling it back, you're putting a stripper clip in it to load the 20 rounds. You've got to load it twice. Put it in there twice. Okay, this is what I saw at the SHOT Show range day. There was a guy's wife, and she was shooting it, and they're going after female gun carriers. That's what they're pitching it to. Anyway, they had loaded it, Kel-Tec loaded it, and she was shooting it. And you know, it's 5.7, so it doesn't have any recoil. She wasn't limp wristing it. It freaking jammed. So when it jammed, you can't just dump the mag and put another one in it. Well, it jammed. It took 2 Kel-Tec people to take the gun from her. I mean, you know, they took the gun from her. It took 2 Kel-Tec people, reps there. The first one tried, he couldn't get it unjammed. The second one tried, he got it unjammed. It took about like 2.5 minutes or 3 minutes to get it unjammed. So are you going to depend on that for your life? No. And it just looks, I understand, you know, hey, and people are saying, oh, it's revolutionary. No, it's not. I mean, there were guns way back that had stripper clips. I've got old rifles that use stripper clips, you know, if you want to use them. It's not revolutionary. It's kind of going back in time. It does have the rotating barrel, but I'm just like, no, I would not buy that thing. And I own a Kel-Tec. You know, I'm not saying they're horrible, but that's just not something I would buy. So that's definitely not on my list at all. I saw a clip of CZ showing the P10F in 45. I thought that was out already. Well, it was out, and then they discontinued it, so maybe they're bringing it back. I don't know. Oh, it's not AOC, it's COA. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, you're right. It is COA. Let me catch back up here. Yeah, I figured, you know, CZ would have like the P10F and 10 millimeter. You know, I thought that might be something cool and new and blah, blah, blah. But, you know, yeah, Feltec, you know, is definitely cheap. I mean, you know, I've got the CP33 and it's a really fun 22. I've built it into a PDW and it's really fun to shoot. It is super fun. But I do have the problem with it picking up the first round. You know, if I load the mag fully, the 33 round mag, if I load it fully, I do have problems. It will not pick up the first round. So I have to kind of pull it out, put it back in. It's kind of a pain in the ass, but I haven't downloaded it yet. That was my whole plan after, you know, of course this happened, but I was going to try to load like 25 rounds and see if it would see if it would work. So that's something I haven't tried yet, but I will. You know, so but it's super fun to shoot. You know, it does work very, very well other than picking up the first round. But once it starts running, you know, it's a pain in the ass to load the mags, but I hand load them and load them correctly. But it is a very fun little PDW to shoot. Hello, Boomer. How are you? Says, good evening. Just found your channel. Mind if I join in? No, you're welcome. You're always welcome. So we welcome everybody in here, and you know, we've had some silly people in here, but that happens, and you know, not a problem. Hello, Clyde. How are you? Thoughts on the Canik Mete Prime? Yes, I did see that, and actually, I was like, you know what? That's actually kind of cool. So I think if you're wanting a slim line and you don't want to spend a ton of money, maybe like a Shadow Systems, and that only gives you 15 plus 1 on those. And I will say this, I really, 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 and I'm not just saying this, I really love my Shadow Systems CR920 XP, even with the hand size that I have. I really enjoy it. It shoots great. It's a fun gun. It works, you know, after I did the break-in, I only had, I think, one failure because I broke it in with 124, but it runs great, shoots great, defensive or full metal jacket, no issues. And it's a great gun. I really, really enjoy it. But it is also, you know, like 1,000 doll hairs. So, you know, or 900 and something doll hairs. So it's not super cheap. But the Prime, you know, I think it's like, if you don't get the optic, I think it's like 600 doll hairs. I'm saying it that way for a reason. And then if you get their optic mounted on it or whatever, you know, it's like, I think, I don't know, 800 or something. But it's supposed to have a great trigger and all that other stuff. I haven't shot it. Don't know anything about that. Don't know anybody that shot one. But, you know, I think it could be a great offering and a great option. And it does give you even more rounds. So, I mean, that's a possibility. And I think that's who they went after, personally, I thought. Let's see here. Catch back up. Shasta Bean, how are you? Said Godspeed, Big J, and speedy recovery. I really appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Len Holt said, tested my 10E alpha trigger on my G22. Is so much better than stock. Yeah, they are nice triggers. Ain't no 1911 trigger, but much better. Yes, I've shot Greg's from Threat Cadre. I've shot his on his Zevs, and they are very nice triggers. Very impressed with them. Let me catch back up here. In my opinion, the most revolutionary pistol in the last 2 years has been the RIA 5.0 that has the falling block, brand new, that reduces recoil and barrel tilt more than any other gun but the Alien gun. Yeah, I saw Bald shooting it, and he had some failures, and I was like, that's not good. He shot it at the, you know, the SHOT Show range day, and I think he had 2 failures, and I was like, damn, that's way too many for as much ammo as he shot. So that wasn't a good look, but, you know, who knows? Could have been cheap ammo, or it could have been a gun failure. I don't know that. But, you know, I've played around with Rock Islands in the past, and I have not had good luck with them. So just not a big fan of them. I'm not saying that they're bad. I'm not saying don't buy one. I'm just saying my personal experience in the past, that was a long time ago, was not good. They may be way better now, but I just don't know, and I have that weird feeling in my gut that, you know, I wouldn't run out and buy one. Now, if a buddy had one and I wanted to shoot it, that would be something different. Let's see here. Sorry, when I talk a lot, I tend to cough, so sorry about that. Let's see here. Let me catch back up. Hey, what is up with all the press on the 32 ACP? Yeah, it's making a little comeback. You know, I saw that too. People are coming out with 32 ACP, and I'm like, golly, that's a blast from the past. Having a little tea and lemonade, having a little Arnold Palmer. No alcohol that's in that. Did Smith & Wesson reveal an M&P 5728 carbine with the tempo system at SHOT Show? I didn't see that. I personally didn't see that. I will say this. That new competition, Smith & Wesson, with that stupid comp, that looks like that comp was a complete afterthought. And you know I speak my mind, so I hope I'm not offending anyone. That's not my intention if you like it. But I think it looks like utter and complete dog shit. That looks like such an afterthought. It does not line up on there nicely. It just looks like they're like, oh, hell, let's throw a comp on it at the last 5 minutes of the, you know, deal. I'm just not impressed at all. The gun looks really nice. It looks cool. But then you look at that comp, and I'm just like, that looks like complete dog shit to me. So I'm not impressed with it at all. And it might shoot great. It might shoot really good and all that other stuff, but the look is such a turnoff. I think they could have done such a better job. I mean, it looks like a complete afterthought. And I'm like, wow, guys, y'all did that? Keep in mind, RIA or Rock Island Armory will make their money once the manufacturers have to pay them royalties to use their design. Yeah, if anybody chooses to take that on. You know, that was kind of like Daniel Defense when they bought the patent for the Hudson. You know, and everybody's like, oh, this is going to be revolutionary. That was like a flash in the pan for 2 weeks. Now nobody buys that gun. I've seen them on Gunbroker, or not Gunbroker. I've seen them on, you know, Primary Arms and all these other things, like just trying to get rid of them because nobody's buying them. But yeah, the Daniel Defense thing, that's a flash in the pan. So who knows? Just one more interesting. Mac is releasing an update on their DS9, but seemingly little coverage. Yeah, I haven't seen that one. Must have missed that. Yeah, Trigger Bar says to me that was a head scratcher, Big J. Yeah, that comp looks like dog shit. Yeah, they could have molded that thing and kind of made it part of the slide and made it look so, so nice. You know, Trigger Bar brought up the Ramjet. That is a fantastic fitment. I mean, it's unbelievable. I love it. But even my Threat Cadre on my staccatos, those things fit beautifully. They look good. The fit, the finish, everything is awesome. And then you got this big, it looks like a damn bozo honker on the front of the M&P. I'm just like, that looks horrible. You know, and I know, and I'm just going to say this, and I'm not hating on anybody, but I know some people went into the M&P booth and they're like, oh my God, this competition gun is amazing. Look how pretty it is. It's going to be amazing. This is my favorite gun of the show. I'm like, I think you work with M&P, so kind of know why you're saying that. And I'm not hating on anybody, but I think y'all know who I'm talking about. It's two people. The M&P steel frame would have been better without the comp, plus the price is ridiculous. Yeah, I didn't even see the price, because once I saw the gun, I was like, that thing looks like dog shit. And I just don't really think it's going to take off very well. People will buy it, don't get me wrong, but, you know, I don't think it's going to sell like hotcakes. Plus, you know, with the steel frame, those back straps and stuff, yeah, they are what they are, but I think they could have integrated them better into the frame, and I think they could have done some stippling on the frame itself. I think it's kind of lackluster. It's too smooth in a lot of places. I would want stippling, honestly. That's just my opinion. Trigger Bar says, I've been finger banging a DDH9 at my local gun store. It's a very nice feeling gun, but that's much for it. Yeah, I'm not impressed. I kind of looked at one and I'm like, oh, but I've got friends who have them and they like them. One had the keyholing problem and they replaced the barrel. The other one has not had a problem with his, but I'm just like, you know, for a 15 round gun, there's way better options out there, in my opinion. $16.99. That's how much that gun is. Never pay that much for that. Brian says, how freaking nice is it not to have KJP doing their press barfing? Yeah, from the White House Daily. Yeah, the new one is awesome. She's reading them the facts. She's telling them how the cow eats the cabbage, and I love it. And she's not putting up with any bullshit, and I can appreciate that. But we are like 3 minutes over. You know, if y'all have, I'm not locked down to a hardcore time. But, you know, if y'all have got any major questions, we'll answer them. Because I just don't want this cough to really start kicking up hard. I think the new P7 is $4.5K for the HK P7. The squeeze cocker, I thought that was a fake squeeze cocker. I didn't even know it was a real squeeze cocker. Wow, man, that's way too much. AD says, dude, what are you yapping about? I yap about what the fuck I want to yap about. How about that, AD? I yap about what I want to yap about. If you don't like it, you can leave. $365 steel frame with a comp today. I don't know. It felt right. and was flat shooting. I was offered to shoot a 320. I politely declined. The owner had no clue about them. Yeah, I wouldn't shoot a 320. Screw those. I'm not a SIG fan, but y'all know that. Lake Ozark guy says, thanks, Big J, and praying for you for full recovery. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Dirt Track says, shot my new Atlas Apollo today. What a dream to shoot. They are nice guns. Very nice guns. I mean, I'll never knock an Atlas. I mean, they are nice guns. Really enjoy them. I haven't owned one. I've only shot, Jacobs when he was alive. I shot 3 of his. The smaller carry gun version that they had of his, or that they had at that time, that was, what, a year and a half ago? And then 2 of the, the bigger models, the full-size models. I mean, they're great guns. But here's what, and this is for my shooting ability. This is just for my personal shooting ability. I'm not saying I'm the master shooter or anything, but I compared the Atlas to my MPA full-size DS9, and I was shooting the same groups. This is my shooting ability. Other people could probably shoot it way better. So I was like, for me, is it worth the squeeze? I loved the grip. I loved everything about the Atlas. But for me, I was just like, is it diminishing returns? And it could be for me. Probably not for other people. Is it a nice gun? Yes, it's very nice. Very nicely made. Very nicely finished. I mean, it's a brilliant gun. But I just couldn't, at that particular time when I was comparing them, I just couldn't justify buying one, or I would already have one. Boomer says, Big J, what time did you start? I started at 7 o'clock Central. So an hour. I've been on an hour and 6 minutes. And this will play on a replay if you want to catch back up. We've talked a lot about SHOT Show and what's gone on with me, so appreciate you being on. Even though I've been blocked from commenting on TFB TV, disaster effect, yeah. I'm blocked on other channels, pretty sure of that. Dirt Track says, I gave up a Wilson Combat and 2 Staccatos for it. Hey, I get it, man. There's nothing wrong with that. If you want a gun, you want a gun. I completely understand. Even after all this shit that's gone on with me, I don't mean to cuss, but after all this stuff that's gone on with me, after this is all said and done, I might be getting rid of some guns. Man, I've got so many freaking guns. I mean, I'm just like looking at my safes and just going, do I need all these? I mean, I might start trying to get rid of some of them because I'm just like, God, I don't need this many guns. I've been saying that forever, but I haven't really done it. But this has kind of been a wake-up call, because if, Lord willing and the creek don't rise, but if I would have crashed and burned, my wife would be dealing with a lot of shit. She would have to deal with a lot of shit, or a lot of stuff. And I'm not saying I'm getting rid of everything, don't think that, and I'm not saying I'm going to crash and burn. But it just kind of put a little more things in perspective. Do I need everything I have? There's a ton of crap. I don't even shoot or touch or pull out of the safes. I just have so much crap. And I'm being honest with you, I'm not saying it's bad stuff, but a lot of it, I just never shoot. I just never even touch it. So I did kind of have a wake-up call when all of this stuff went down. So I'm really kind of thinking about, like, if I can get rid of a couple of guns to get a gun, or get rid of 3 guns to get a gun, kind of like what we just saw on the Atlas, or, what he was talking about on the Atlas. I could consider doing that. But just turning around and buying another gun, I'm probably not going to be doing that. I'm going to be getting rid of some guns. I also got some of my guns when my dad passed away. I got some of my guns back that he had at his house. I got my 270 back. Matter of fact, the deer that is in my office, now I have other deers around the house, but Billy Jack, I named him Billy Jack. The one that's right here, y'all have all seen it when I do my desk chat. Billy Jack was shot with my 270, my original 270 from way back. So that's what he was killed with. I actually got that gun back. I got my Sweet 16 back, my Browning. I let my dad, have some of these guns just so I bought him a little one of those gun cases that you could see through, with the glass. So he didn't really have that many guns other than a couple of 22s. So I let him, take some of my guns just to put in there. And then when he passed, I got him back. So I got my 270, my Sweet 16 Browning. What else did I get back? I got my 7mm back. I got my 243 back. So I've got all these other guns, these deer rifles. And they're just kind of like the old school deer rifles that y'all have seen before. Nothing special. But I'm just like, what the hell am I going to do with these now? So that's just more shit. And even before my accident, I got them back and I tried to put them in the safe or the safes and they won't fit. And I've got 4 big safes or 4.5 big safes and they won't fit. So I'm just like, shit, I don't know what to do with all this stuff. So, and I really like the 270 round. I'm actually a big fan of it, but I'm like, what do I do with all these other guns I've gotten back now? So, and I mean, my safes are packed. They're extremely packed. Every time I dig through there, I find shit I didn't even know I had. And it's getting kind of annoying. Thanks, Trigger Bar. Appreciate you, buddy. Let me catch back up here. Yeah, I did, Clyde. I talked about it earlier, so you can check out the replay. Thanks, William, man. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I appreciate all y'all's prayers and well wishes. It really means a lot, and I truly, truly mean that. I mean, from the heart. I really, really appreciate it. Just remember, Big J, when you want to get rid of some guns, I have all those Hilton points we can trade. Dude, I've got so many Hilton points. I'm a diamond member with Hilton, diamond member with, man, I'm a diamond member with everybody because I travel so much. So I just give away my points every year to Justin's Final Mission. I do that every Christmas. Now, I will say this. I didn't do it this Christmas because of the injury. So I will give them away, donate them to Justin's Final Mission again next Christmas. So I will make sure to do that. Thanks, Pistol Pete. I really appreciate it. Brian says I'll take dibs on the CZ's Shadow 2 Compact. Brian, man, that's a gun. I mean, if I had to say this today, and I will, y'all know my honest opinion. I don't bullshit anybody. But that is a gun I don't think I could ever get rid of. I am so, so, so in love with that Shadow 2 Compact. It is such a fabulous gun, and I'm not just saying that. I'm so glad that I got it. I love it. It's a fabulous gun. Can't say anything bad about it. I really can't. It shoots incredibly well. Craig says, I do not want to stick my wife with any headaches but my kids. Oh, well. Yeah, and I get it. And that's the thing, I'm going to have a granddaughter. And she'll have plenty of guns. Don't worry about that. But, after all this happened, and I'm not trying to bring anybody down, but after all this happened, it just really made me think, like, man, if something would have happened or I would have, because I already had that in my lungs apparently. But I was just like, man, I would have stuck them with all of this shit, Do I need it all? And I'm not saying I'm going to get rid of everything. Don't take it that way. I mean, please don't. But I'm just like, do I need that much stuff? I don't. So, when I am able to up and walk around and stuff like that, I am going to start thinning some stuff out. Some stuff I just don't give a crap about and I'm never going to shoot and I just really don't care about. I am going to start thinning some things out. I do have some plans. Working with Impact Machine, I'm going to do some more stuff with them as soon as I'm better. Scott's like a brother, man. That guy is awesome. So, there's some companies I will recommend. If you're needing anything from Impact Machine, whether it's plates, I mean, he has plates for all kinds of guns. If you're needing plates, I highly recommend Impact Machine. And you can use my code. It's BJGG10, and that will save you 10% off. Of course, lock grips, any grips, magwells, pistol stands, anything like that, you can use my code. It's BJGG10. That'll save you 10%. And also Armsman's holsters. The Armsman. Really love his holsters. He makes incredible holsters. And you can use my code. It's BJGG10. That will save you 10% off and free shipping for my subscribers. So please like, share, and subscribe, all that good stuff. I mean, those are some companies I work with, been working with, and really, really appreciate everything they do. But I am going to be doing some stuff with Impact Machine. I've already got some stuff lined out when I get better. So I think you're really going to like it. But I think it's going to be really cool. I've got some big plans for some stuff they're going to do for me. And, you know, I can't wait to share it with y'all. So... Lake Ozark guy says, every time I go through my stuff and pick out a handful of guns to sell, I find out they aren't worth much, so I might as well keep them. No, and I get that, Lake Ozark guy, but I look at it this way. Here's one thing I'm thinking about. You know, I've put time with them, I've enjoyed them, you know, and I try to buy things correctly, you know, with like on sale or, you know, get deals on it. But, you know, I look at it this way. If I take a little bit of loss on it, I take a loss. If I know I'm not going to shoot it, someone else can buy it. They can enjoy it. They can, you know, that could be their family, you know, defensive gun. You know, so I kind of am looking at it like that. You know, I've made a lot of money on guns, and I've broke even on guns. I really haven't lost my ass on guns. So, you know, I do buy them right and sell them right. So I've been very lucky and fortunate on that. But, you know, if I've got to take a little bit of a loss, you know, it is what it is. But at least I get something out of my safe. I'm just trying to change my mindset a little bit. Then Holt says, I feel your pain. Craig says, I know someone with over 700 guns, and I believe the 27 are legal full autos. Wow. Collected over 60 years. He's not worried about the inevitable. No, I totally get it, man. Anyone know what is a great value 410? I think I want one. 410s are cool. I had a 410 when I was like 10 or 11 years old. I mean, 410's cool, but now I just personally don't want one. If I had a young, you know, like for my granddaughter or something, that would be cool. I'd probably buy one, you know, to shoot shotguns with her. But, you know, I'm not a big, currently now, as a grown man, I'm not really a big 410 fan unless I had, you know, like a youngster where I was teaching them on a shotgun. But I killed many, many snakes with a 410. Armsman said, I can't even imagine the headache my wife would have. Luckily, my youngest son is into it also. I'm sure he'll step in. Yeah, and that's the thing. I have a daughter. You know, I don't have a son. My daughter would be like, what the hell? And matter of fact, my wife, you know, she has the contact information for a couple of my buddies that would probably end up with the majority of them, or help her, you know, to sell them off or whatever they chose to do. So Arms said, I appreciate it. Thank you. No problem, man. I appreciate you. You make a hell of a holster, or holsters. I've got many of yours and I really enjoy them. Trigger Bar says, having dealt with my parents' stuff, it's a kindness to your kids to take care of your own crap and not leave it to them to fill the dumpster. Not talking about guns. No, I totally get it. That's like my mom and dad. You know, my dad passed, and my mom, I mean, you know, whenever she passes, which I hope is not forever, but man, I've got to deal with all that, and she has a lot of shit. So I can completely understand, Trigger Bar. You know, that would be a nightmare. It would be a complete nightmare. And she is getting better about it. I've told her, I'm like, you need to get rid of this shit. So, and they have a lot of my grandmother's antiques, which are worth money, but only to certain people that want to buy them. So, for example, she was trying to give me a hutch of my grandmother's. You know, oh, do you want this hutch? you know, to put china in and stuff like that. And I'm like, no, I don't want it. So she's got somebody replacing the flooring over there, putting flooring in her house, wood flooring, getting rid of the tile. And she's like, well, I think I'm, you know, if you don't mind, I think I'm going to let him take it. And I'm like, he can have it. I don't care. You know, and it's an antique. It's over 100 years old, so it's worth something. But I'm just like, take it. Get it the hell out of there. Let him enjoy it or sell it or whatever. I don't care. William Carter, I've been thinking about having Impact port my Shadow 2 Compact. If you do, William, you can use my code. It's BJGG10. That saves you 10% off having your work done as well, not just on plates. Any customization you do, you can use that same code and they'll give you the 10% off. So if you want to have it ported, they'll do it for you with that code, save you some bucks. And I don't make anything on that, but it just, you know, he gave it to me for my subscribers to use. Let's see here. Pistol Pete says, I think when you get back on your feet, you can get into the best shape of your life. You know, I agree. I haven't been eating that much because I've been kind of sitting around. So I think my wife seems to think I've lost like 10 or 15 pounds more. I lost 20 pounds before this, but she seems to think I'm getting skinnier because I just don't eat as much. I'm just not as hungry. You know, because I mean, I'm up on my feet like 4 times a day, but you know, I just don't, I mean, I'm not doing like the normal activity, so I'm just not eating as much, and I'm not really eating crap. I'm eating better food, so, but I think I've lost maybe 10 pounds since this has happened, or since I've been down, I guess, on my feet, off my feet. Lynn Holt says I got an approach for stuff. It says made in China dumpster. Yeah, no, I agree. Matter of fact, even my own house, up in our attic, we have like a whole freaking another house. I'm not joking. We have furniture, we have end tables, we have lamps, we have all that. And I told my wife when I'm able and I can, you know, get up and walk, I said, we're gonna dump that shit. We're gonna sell it, we're gonna give it away, we're gonna do whatever we gotta do. I just want it out of my house. I'm done with this shit. Yeah, Brian's saying the one I had and sold to my great friend one day. There will be a day in the near future when money isn't so tight, and I'll buy it from him again in the near future. Yeah. What would that improve porting on the Shadow 2 Compact? I don't think it. I think it's a pretty flat gun, but it would make it a little flatter. The only thing is I don't. I wouldn't. I personally wouldn't do my Shadow 2 Compact. I would probably do my full-size Shadow 2, but not necessarily the Compact. In my opinion, for me personally. They do great porting jobs, don't get me wrong, and comp jobs. But, you know, a lot of people have had them comped and ported and things like that, and they really enjoy them. It's just going to help you bleed off the glass, or bleed off the gas and be a little flatter. But, I mean, my Shadow 2 Compact shoots so damn good. Yep, Brian saying RFK is going to make America healthy again. I hope so. I hope he gets in, man. There's a bunch of whack jobs giving him hell. So, oh, I saw some heart fly up. Thank y'all so much. Yep, we've got 27 people watching and 37 thumbs up. Man, I appreciate that so much. Lake Ozark Guy says you can hire companies to come in and buy or auction off everything after you go through it. There are reputable companies out there. I did it with my parents and I'm happy with the results. Yeah, I did. It's like an auction company. I did see that. I forget what they call it. There's a name for it. Because my parents used to go to those damn places and bring more shit to their house. But yeah, and I thought about that as well. So that could definitely happen. Thanks for the impact code. Yeah, you're welcome, William. I appreciate you. But I think we're going to go ahead and shut it down. I've been about 23 minutes over, and you know that cough is I can kind of feel it a little bit more. So probably going to kick back and just drink some lemonade and iced tea or Arnold Palmer, and probably just relax a bit, you know, before I go to bed later. So, But I appreciate y'all so much. I'm so glad that y'all were on to catch up on things and talk a little bit about SHOT Show and what we saw. And if y'all can think of anything after the fact, if you're like, oh, what did you think about this? You know, something we didn't cover because there was so much. You know, I'll be glad to follow up with you and answer your questions to the best of my ability. I don't know everything, and maybe I didn't see everything, but I watched a bunch of videos about SHOT Shows, so you know I was trying to keep up with things. And but I'm always interested in what y'all find cool or not cool or whatever. So it's always a good time. But I really appreciate y'all being on. It means so much to me. Right here, like I said, if you've got family members and people like we talked about earlier that kind of need a little reaching out to, please reach out to them. Just let them know you're thinking about them. Just give them a quick call or a quick text and just say, hey, thinking about you, man. It really means a lot. I appreciate y'all reaching out to me, checking on me and stuff like that. It really means a lot. Your thoughts, prayers, it really does go a long way. And as far as my wife, she's been a complete rock star. As like I said before, she has been, doing everything in the world for me. I couldn't ask for a better wife. So I want to give her some kudos as well. And my kid, she's awesome too. So they've been staying on top of me. And tomorrow's my birthday. So, I'm going to be older. So to me, it's just another day. But, I think that's kind of cool. So made it to another day. So, another year added to my, my deal. I thought that Caldwell Clay throwing gun looked pretty cool. Have a great night. Keep healing, Big Johnson. Thanks to Disastrous Effect. I appreciate it. But, thanks, Pistol Pete. I appreciate you. I wasn't saying that for happy birthday. Sorry about that. I just, was thinking about it because it popped up. But, yep, older and wiser. That's what we got to think about. That's all it is. Another day older and another day wiser. Kind of like cheese and wine. But I appreciate y'all so much. We'll go ahead and shut this down. If you have any questions, comments, please leave it after the chat. And we will get back with y'all. Thank you so much. Y'all be safe out there and love one another. And remember, an unarmed nation is a very weak nation. So we all got to carry on. Take care, everyone. Oh, yeah. My chin's up. We're going to press through this and get better. So thanks, everyone. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.